Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
And we say good morning to Chris Papps, Chair of the Otaki Community Board. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Nigel. Good morning, everybody.
Now, you attended that meeting yesterday with a decision on the Kapiti Coast Airport. Most boards were...
and the other board chairs from Pakokariki, Paraparumu and Waikanai.
Right.
We're very, very lucky with our council. They actually allow us to sit through public excluded meetings as well as ordinary meetings, so they're very inclusive, and they asked our opinion on it as well, so it's nice to be included.
So really, it sounds like the district were right behind it.
Oh, I think so. When the presentation and the way it was explained, it's basically a no-brainer, I think.
Right. So it's not going to cost the ratepayers too much more than what, when you think about it.
And that's the thing. It's a service everybody wants and we need, and I'm sure more can come from it once we have a reliable airline service in and out of Paraparaumu, starting with to Auckland and back, and maybe Christchurch. It'd be great if we could go to perhaps Nelson and places like that as well. Hopefully it can grow.
That's what they're talking about, aren't they, Chathams? They said, let us settle down first with Auckland, then we'll look at other routes. Yeah. So
Nelson would suit me because my sister lives in Nelson, so it'll make it a lot easier than going to get her from Wellington Airport.
It will depend on their timetables, though, and that was a problem with Air New Zealand in some ways, wasn't it?
It was, yes, and also the fact that they would cancel flights, and from what I've gathered, it's not because they weren't full or anything. It was the fact that they needed the plane on other routes.
Yes, that's right. So Air New Zealand had given $50,000. I only just found that out from the Mayor this morning, which has to be matched as a sort of marketing tool. Yeah. And I see the Todd family has also given exemption for lease of the building down there for a year, and then 33% of what Air New Zealand paid for the next 2 to 3 years. So it seems like they're all parties are coming together. Well,
that's good, and it can only be good for Kapiti. Anything like that's got to be good for the people up at the Kapiti Coast. And with the expressway coming through, it's going to be a viable option for people from Porirua and further south to actually perhaps come to Paraparaumu Airport rather than Wellington. I mean, have you tried getting through the Wellington traffic to the airport? I always give myself about 3 hours to get there when I'm flying out.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. And then the parking, I mean, you just about need a third mortgage on your house to park there.
All right, so that's that one. And then you had some awards, or somebody gave out some money for awards, did they?
Yeah, we've got, we did the judging for the Civic Awards on Monday, myself, the Mayor, and the other community board chairs.
Yes.
I can't tell you who won them, otherwise I'd have to shoot you.
Yes.
But just to say, it was pretty tough choosing the winners and the runners-up. It was a fairly close-run thing, and everybody's most deserving, the people who have won.
Yes.
So that's coming up in July, the awards ceremony. So people will find out then who the winners and the runners-up are. And
yes.
So, as I say, we've got a lot of very worthy people up the coast, a lot of generous people that give their time and everything to the community. So we're very fortunate up the coast.
Okay, so that won't be announced until the night, I suppose, will it? Or?
Yes, the night. But although the winners and runners-up know they're in line for it because they have to be there, of course. So the people that are actually getting them are told that they are going to get an award. They don't know what.
Right.
So that's something.
So whereabouts is it going to be held, Chris?
Last year it was down in the council chambers. It was run very well down there, and I think the Whitireia catering people did the food, so they sort of do it as part of their training.
Excellent.
And it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, sure.
It's a way of involving the community and yet something else.
Right. Now, the Kapiti CAB, Citizens Advice Bureau, they went to the council yesterday to see if they can get some money, but your Otaki CAB, I suppose they're in the same boat, are they?
They are, yes, but they're working through ways that they can perhaps get themselves sorted and perhaps manage without that grant from the council. But it's early days yet, and working through it anyway, just to see what can be done to help them out.
They're fairly busy, aren't they? I mean, David Robertson said Kapiti one, they had 3,300 people through there last year.
That's right. We the other thing that's sort of really taking up a bit of time at the moment too is the charges on the stall market hold, the stalls at markets, and the amount of work that the council has to put in. The council what their charges are, which are very, very high, and I'm not saying that it's the work they have to put in that is doing these charges, but really it came from central government, this legislation, and the council's just following through with it. So I think the best bet, if stallholders actually want something done, they should actually start emailing the minister in charge and getting the legislation changed. I myself am actually going to send an email to Nathan Guy, because he was actually in government when it came through, and he is the representative on that in opposition. So I decided yesterday, when I was sitting in council and looking at things and looking at the charges, I thought, darn it, I'm going to jolly well do something. So I'm going to send Nathan an email and just sort of try and get the ball rolling that way, because it's jams and chutneys, and by the time you've paid $900 or whatever, so you might as well not have a stall. And it's going to kill our markets. It's going to kill the free spirit of them. And all you'll have then are the commercial people there that are doing their licences anyway, and that's just going to take away the novelty and everything of our markets.
So that would affect a couple of markets your way, wouldn't it? The Otaki Women's Community Market and the one at the racecourse there. And it'll affect a lot down here too.
Every market throughout the entire country.
Right.
And I mean, and that's what I mean. This country's been built on that sort of thing, and to sort of whip the rug out from under everybody like that is just, I think it's appalling.
Yeah. So the community board should get in behind it, and also the stallholders.
Well, I want to. I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to start just myself personally on a personal level, not as a community board chair, but just as somebody that's keen to see that something can be done. Because if you're a charity, you can do 20 now, without having to pay or be registered. Now, I mean, how ridiculous is that? And that's without any sort of regulation whatsoever.
I see.
So, I mean, if people are going to get supposedly sick from buying things from markets, the biggest risk is from somebody that doesn't have to do anything.
Well, that'll be a big discussion for a while, but as you say, the council's a bit tied to central government's ruling.
That's right, they are. So it's not the council's fault. They're just following through with the legislation.
So community get behind it, send some emails to, as you say, Nathan Guy would be a good one for a start off.
So I think, Nathan's, he's not as busy as he was. No. So I think get him on side and start the battle.
Fair enough too. All right, and the expressway okay at the moment?
Oh yes, that's going along smoothly. We've got our next CLG meeting on Monday night.
Okay.
At Otaki College, so Fletchers will give their report. So far, they've just been so inclusive of the community, and I really haven't heard terribly much in the way of complaints about the way they've been handling things. They respond when things, when questions are asked, and Fletchers and NZTA, I think, have been working very, very well with the community.
Christine, we thank you very much for your time today. Have a nice weekend and come on the ABs.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Nigel.
Thank you. Chris Papps, Chair of the Otaki Community Board.
106.3 Beach FM.